Hello, everybrony. It is Al Knight. It is Brony time, and welcome to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now, this is a series that I just thought of recently. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy, and this were in a bundle that was on sale for like 15 bucks. So I decided to grab these up and see if I could possibly record and do a series on these games. And of course, well, I did a couple of testing and it looks like we're going to be fine. Hopefully it'll continue throughout the whole game. Hopefully we don't have any frame issues on the recording, and that we'll see. But from what I've tested so far, we're not going to have any issues. But the Apollo Justice trilogy is releasing at the end of January, and I thought, why not go back and play through the kind of series from the very beginning. The thing about this game is it is actually a prequel to the series and not a continuation. So basically, if you're new to the series, this is a great place for you to start since it is a prequel. And yeah, but throughout this game, we will be following in the footsteps of Phoenix's great grandfather. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't. There's probably more greats to that, but anyway, yeah, that's who we'll be playing as in this game. So if you're new and you've never seen Ace Attorney before, that's fine. You won't have to worry about being lost too much. Yeah, but I love this series. I wanted to play through it again in anticipation, and I kind of wanted to do it with you guys. So, also, please let me know if the sound is too low, on the game end, and I will, of course, turn that up in future recordings. Each recording I plan on having being around 50 minutes, since this is a very story-heavy, text-heavy. It is technically a visual novel, so it's gonna be and I feel like an hour is a good chance to just make some decent progress in this game and try to get it as done as quickly as possible. But sit back, relax. I hope that you all will enjoy this series, and let's get into the story. Okay, so of course we have adventures, and then we have resolve. But of course, you gotta start with the Great Ace Attorney adventures.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
The Adventure of the Great Departure. Alrighty, 22nd of November, 8:43 a.m. The Supreme Court of Judicature, defendants into chamber number 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glass, murderer! Sorry. My name is Yunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, until the judge has given his verdict on the case. No one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how court officers should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though, I must say, you've been all over the newspaper these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me, I didn't do it! I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Sogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even got this amazing fan that blows around his headband. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. He said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes. That's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud, as your friend. Yes. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. Yeah, so this game, if you don't know, which most of you probably do, but it takes place in the Meiji period of Japan, when it first was forced to open up to Western influence, which would be the Victorian age in London. See you in English class tomorrow, then. Partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Sogi, may I have a word? Hello? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now, Sogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him in a university before. I see. I'll go at once, then. I shall accompany you. All right, then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. Oh my god. This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikatoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikatoba. Sorry, that was a weird read. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Sogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Sogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. Damn, that's kinda harsh. What? As I suspected. You are unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It is very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry, what do you mean? Corruption. This kind of shit happens all the time. You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. Oh my gosh! I'm getting married? No. That's not what I mean at all. I do. But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, will be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. Oops, sorry about that. So unprofessional. So this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Excuse me? Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Well, I kind of gathered that. Only military and government officials may attend. So yes, a lot of corruption. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. Just wait for the story. Wait for the story, Ryunosuke. It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Aww. Look at those beautiful designs. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, sorry. The feeders went off and scared the crap out of me. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confer. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I'm obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. I know this isn't around yet, but they do say that anyone who defends himself has a fool of a client. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Well, seeing as wait and see doesn't do anything, we'll answer I do. Kind of an illusion of choice in some parts of the Ace Attorney series. Your Excellency. Okay, Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for society. Those freaking eyes. I love the animations in this duology. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? God dang it, Shu. There's no way that wasn't intentional. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikatoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Is that so, Naruhodo-san? Yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetuated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to accept your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? It means it's time for Rutorial. Pick up on this man. He's questioning your ability to do the job. Wow, what a dick. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard this name more times than I'd care to admit. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that! What was it again? Ryunosuke? Ryunosuke. Let me guess, your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. It's almost like we're a couple or something. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that! It's simple. You can assess the court record with the progressive E. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press E for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. Bam bam, everybody! We'll be using this quite a bit throughout this playthrough, the court record. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with E. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press C to go back. Be prepared, guys, because it's going to be really freaking weird when we go back to Ace Attorney 1, and this is not a thing. This wasn't a thing till, I believe, Justice for All is when they introduced the portrait system. So, but first off, let's take a pause and let's take a look at some of our characters here. So we have Kazuma Sogi. I'm a year his senior. He is 23. A second year at Imperial Yume University. He's my best friend, and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. We have Yujin Mikatoba. That guy does not look 42. He looks at least in his mid-50s. A medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. Takasuchi Ouchi. This is a running joke with the trial prosecutors of every freaking game. Get ready. All of the names in Ace Attorney are puns. So, the lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the Culture of Reformation has brought about, And here we have our victim, John H. Wilson. Yeah, they couldn't get the Tolkien estates very anal about the use of the IP, so in the original Japanese version, it's John H. Wasson, but in the translation, Western translation, they changed it to John H. Wilson to avoid lawsuits. The victim of this case. He was a visiting professor at the medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Try it now.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally, and as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiation. Can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Wow, that is a mouthful of a freaking title. And yet, despite this delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institute that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then. Partner. The British Empire. Wow. It's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body.
Yes!
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it? Sorry, yes. That's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, Counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. A photographic print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front of the chest and subsequently died. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. Haha, dunk on all you artists out there, lol. It's clear, the detail is incredible. Very well, I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Excuse me while I T-pose. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of this case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me, but that doesn't mean... Well, I can't still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. The humor of this series is absolutely fantastic. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called Le Carnival. Oh, God. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, he's got consumption. Well, rest in peace, Hosonaga. It's regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There's hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Yes! Oh, this is really stupid for me to do. Hold on. Let me just clarify something here. Well, I did pick up the gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor. I didn't shoot him! I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to witness to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you'll be penalized, defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today? Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did you just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello... Ooh... There was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Well, given the fact, of course, a lot of these choices I'm gonna go based on what have happened. Like, I know what happens when you select these two options. So, yeah, another illusion of choice. There seem to be a lot of these in earlier cases of these games.
Yes!
You gotta stop saying yes, Ryan. I just call him Ryan because saying Ryunosuke every time is gonna gives me a mouthful. And his nickname from another series I watch is Ryan, so I just use that. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? Stereotypical anime eye push. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Having a real cough helps here. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout, drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you could see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well, is there a problem? Hand the plan over to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? Sorry, that was way too quiet. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered to the court record. The head waiter's business card. The sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. So, The court has now heard a percease, I think, of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense. If you're determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Ooh, the look, the stare of disapproval. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. And are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Aoshi, please continue with the proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well, officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Oh boy. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nipponese Imperial Army Sergeant Yasa Nosa, reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Koryo Korekuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. An unusual pairing. Seems quite fitting for an Ace Attorney game. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always past noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques, and tries to sell his wares to them. Do you understand that, player? Good. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, That sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. What the hell? This man's as impossible to understand as the other. Once again, he's a turning game. Keep up the pace. I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. I'm kind of on trial for murder here, my dude. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. So we have our first witness testimony of the game. In this section, they will give us their testimony in easy, split chunks. I was investigating a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At the precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Okay, I think this first piece of evidence, as in most tutorial cases, it's pretty obvious what the contradiction is here. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Osa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim? Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes. All I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed the English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. Oh my god. Oh god, why would you pick it up? I know this is like a different time and people didn't really think about that stuff, but still, like, if you don't just pick up random weapons you see lying around. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down and just as I was picking it up... Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court's just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of the trial. No, not yes, you don't want that. Why did they go with that line read? What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I am, I mean, the defense demands its right to cross-examination. Sorry, I need to remember to have water with me when I do these recordings in the future. Ugh. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? Objection! The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Customer's so commanding. Oh, he makes me swoon. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. All right. This is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witnesses lie. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Ow! All right, then. It's all or nothing. And we will get into this cross-examination next time on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. That's right, we are at our time that I want to try to keep these episodes to, and this is a good stopping point, I think. So, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed doing it. I love doing the voices, despite the fact that I was stupid enough to do it before I had eaten and with no water to drink. I will remember to do that in the future. Like, there's some voices that are easy, but God, the Judge Hosonaga and Ouchie and the soldier, like, oh boy, this is why I'm also keeping these episodes to like an hour, because I cannot do that, all those voices for more than this long. But yeah, I love this series. I hope you are loving it. I know you guys didn't really express too much interest, but I'm hoping that uploading this will at least give you guys, I'm hoping to win you guys over, because I really love this series, and I hope you end up loving it too. And also, I just want to break from my usual reactions sometimes. It's, doing the same thing over and over again. Like, it's very easy to burn out on recording. Of course, my pausing of my recent videos has been due to family things that I've shared with you all last week, nearly over a week ago now. We lost a family member to an illness, and I'm fine. My sister's fine, whom I live with, but my uncle's taking it very hard, and my mom is trying to be the rock of the family, but she is grieving as well. And her funeral is actually this weekend, so. But I'm all right. I'm back to doing videos because it's what I love to do, and it's just a way for me to. It's a way for me to cope, you know. Anyway, I'm sorry to end this video on such a depressing note, but we will be back next time. I will just be uploading this straight off the bat tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time. I will drop this video. Just because I want to get it out there as quick as possible, get the ball rolling on this series, and I don't really want to wait till after everything else. So, second video will be dropped today. I'm excited to bring it to you all. I really only have time to do one session right now, but I will be doing more sessions in the future, and I can't wait. I'm excited. I love this series, and I'm nose to the grindstone. I'm doing it. So yeah. I will see you all. Well, wait, forgot to do my outro. Sorry, I don't usually do games. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Brony Time for more content, especially more Great Ace Attorney adventures. Also, please make sure to share this video far and wide. There are tons of Ace Attorney fans out there, and I'm hoping to reach them with this series as well. And, sharing going through and on this journey together. Of course, this journey will be long. I'm not sure if we'll complete it before Apollo Justice drops. Um, but we're gonna try our darndest to get as far as we can. So yeah, reactions. I will probably be doing a session of this tomorrow, and then a reaction to MLP after it, just to kind of, because I still want the reaction content to come out for y'all. But this is a series I want to do. It's kind of a personal choice series for mine, and I'm hoping you guys will come around and enjoy the series just as much as you do my reactions. All right, see you next time.